What's up, everybody, and welcome to Level 7. We're here at Agents of Fandom for another episode on the podcast. Joining me today, I got my guys TJ Zwarych and Ryan Cortero. How you guys doing? TJ, start with you.
Doing very, very well. It's been, a surprisingly long day. I didn't expect to be have as busy of a day as I had today, but I'm happy to be hanging out with you guys here, having a nice chat, and talking about some Paradise because what a wild finale that was. Looking forward to diving into it.
Yeah, it's been a journey. I'm saddened it is our last episode on this podcast to talk together, but it's also my last time hosting for this episode, so I'm very sad about that as well. Ryan, how you doing today, bro?
And I'm doing good. I'm very excited to talk about this episode. This is one that we are all going into blind, so it's like this is where we can really chat and discuss, and there's a lot to discuss as
Mhm.
we move into season 3. And I'm very excited to break it all down because my head is still hurting from trying to understand it all.
Yeah, as I was watching it earlier today, I'm like, we were right about certain things. We were wrong about certain. I was just thinking about everything that we discussed throughout this journey. So I'm very excited to talk about it today. But before we do that, I want to throw it over right back over to TJ so he can let you guys know what we have going on. I've been doing a little bit of my homework, trying to be a good agent of our fandom. And I know we have tomorrow night our Daredevil Born Again live reaction. I will not be joining as a co-host. I have to go to sleep because it is two episodes that they're throwing right back to back. Wednesday we have Invincible. Thursday we have the Comic Corner. I'm not sure what we have Friday, so I will throw it right back to TJ. Like I said, take it over from there. What do we got coming, brother?
Yeah, busy week. 11 p.m. Eastern Tuesday night. We'll be live talking about the two episodes of Daredevil that will just have dropped. Myself, Fat Thor, Tony Paletto from the Life in the Time of Hydra podcast. And we'll see. Maybe Traveling Damon joining us from a hotel room somewhere as well. We'll see. We'll still see about that. But looking forward to talking about some Daredevil. You can find my interviews with Charlie Cox, Vincent D'Onofrio, as well as the creative team up on our YouTube channel and wherever you get your pods. I'll also be, speaking of Tuesday, speaking of tomorrow I'll be talking to some of the creative team for Mall Shadow Lord. I'm talking to Athena Yvette Portillo. I don't know how to say this guy's last name, and I apologize. Matt Michnovets, and then Brad Rao as well. So really looking forward to that chat. Then Wednesday, like you said, talking Invincible. It looks like we're gonna have some trailers this week as well with a new Supergirl trailer. So maybe we'll have a show talking about that. I know Ryan was in the social streets today at Agents Fandom on TikTok and Twitter, Agents of Fandom everywhere else, doing his biggest pet peeve, his least favorite thing, announcements for teasers or trailers. Just the trailer is the announcement. The trailer is showing us that what's going to come. You don't got to announce the trailer, but alas,
Bro, we got the worst one today where it's like we are teasing the release date of a season that could come with a trailer. I don't even know. But it's just like, I mean, I'm excited for Avatar season 2, but goddamn, like I can't believe we're doing teasers for release dates now.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. But whatever you got to do to build the hype, that is a show that I do hope does well. Like you said, Avatar: The Last Airbender live action on Netflix season 2. We think coming later this year at some point. We will find out tomorrow though. And yeah, that's basically it. Shout out to everybody watching us on YouTube. Hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. But also just extra shout out to, we're always, chatting. We do the live shows. We're always chatting with the people in chat. We love our YouTube subscribers. But I do just want to keep giving the extra shout outs to those who have been following us on the podcast feeds, because the podcast feeds have been going absolutely nuts lately. So many new friends joining us. Welcome. We're happy to have you. There's something you want us to talk about, at TJ at agentsoffandom.com. Fire me an email. And just, yeah, we appreciate you. Leave us a nice 5-star rating.
Yes, sir. Show us some love, man, and help us beat those algorithms, both on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts at. Um, But I'm glad to hear both you guys doing well. I'm also doing pretty well. It's been a fun, hectic week with trying to catch up again from GalaxyCon. I feel like I'm still playing catch up with so many shows and reading. Just today, I finally caught up on all of my manga reading for like the past month. So I gotta ask you guys, what have you been reading, watching, playing, listening to? TJ, I'll throw it right back over to you.
Yeah, I've been busy watching new stuff lately. I actually just started the day with a like kind of half paying attention to it movie. Like I was working as I was having it on, but I just wanted something to kind of pep me up, wake me up a little bit. So I watched a movie today called Stone Cold Fox with Kristen Ritter and Kiernan Shipka. It was fun. It was like looked like it was pretty low budget. It was silly. It wasn't anything spectacular, but I had some fun with it. I finally have finished Industry. I am all done season 4. I am all caught up to the present. Great and just absolutely wild show. I am happy to be done it. Like it was one of those I struggled a little bit to get to the finish line just because it is like high stressor show, and if I'm binging it, it's like starts to invade my mind a little bit, and so I was kind of happy to be done, have a little break of that one. Other than that, I don't think anything new or special other than what we're talking about or things I like on these podcasts or things that I can't talk about yet because of an embargo. So nothing too new or special for me.
Nothing in the framework of things we can't talk about or things we are already talking about, essentially. That's fun, man. I'm in that the seasons are changing as with the weather here in the States. You go from winter to spring. It's also happening for us in the anime fandom, with the anime seasons changing. We got so much going on right now. I just put out my review for Jujutsu Kaisen season 3, part 1. That just finished with no release date yet for part 2 of the Culling game. So that is out now, actually at agentsoffandom.com. You could check that out. Sentenced to be a Hero's first season just ended as well. Fire Force is coming to an end. My Hero Academia Vigilantes has ended today. So we got a lot to talk about as far as writing. I got a lot of writing to do. I got I got a lot of things to be talking about. Very excited to do that. But that's pretty much all I've been watching. Like I said, I've been truly trying to catch up on reading my manga, comics, and some shows. So I'm in a good place now with Paradise ending. Um, For All Mankind just came out on Apple TV, so that just started. I kind of caught up on Monarch season 2. That's on Apple TV. So I'm in a good place, my TV wise. Been gaming a lot, still catching up as Ryan. I know TJ is so tired of hearing us talk about, but Pokemon Pocopia. I am finally in a good place with that. I've moved on to the second area, continuing with the story because I'm like, you know what? I just can't get any further in this game if I don't get new abilities, new stuff, building stuff, whatever the case may be. But TJ, that is not to say that I haven't on Thursdays on Twitch been playing Pokemon Fire Red, man. I've been putting some time in on that as well. I finally passed Lieutenant Surge and I got to the Rock Tunnel and I just stopped there. I was like, we'll take a minute, continue on a little bit later. But I did decide of 2 Pokemon for sure out of my 6 that I'm keeping, and I am keeping Charmeleon for sure, which will be Charizard, and I have a Gloom now, and I will make it a Vileplume, 100%. That's kind of where I'm at gaming wise, checking out a little bit of Crimson Desert, which is so immersive. You have to like really find time to play that game. And I think that's about it as far as catching up on things with you guys. And I know this is our last time really doing this for a while, so I got to ask Ryan now, what are you doing? What have you been watching, playing, reading? What you got going on, man?
I'm just
I
looking
am.
at something quick
Oh,
before Ryan goes. Speaking of like the Pokemon games, I was just like quite impressed with myself because I hit end credits on Leaf Green with like 50 plus Pokemon in my Pokedex, like a nice solid run in under 24 hours. It was like 22 something hours. And I was like, damn, that feels pretty quick for like not intentionally speeding through it, but just like getting everything done. I was looking up like the record for fastest Pokemon game finishes for like Leaf Green, Fire Red. It's just over 2 hours.
yeah,
That's
I've seen those. I've seen
I don't
those.
get it.
Um, I don't know either. I
Pick
there
Bulbasaur because he's easy for the first like 3
they're
gyms.
all Squirtle with Blastoise.
interesting.
I would have to watch like a speed run. Somebody stream that on
Yeah,
Twitch.
that's
I would
wild to
have
me.
to.
That's absolutely crazy. But anyways, Ryan, what you been watching?
Yeah. What you been? You got it.
I will say I am happy to report I have rolled credits on Pocopia, so that was a feat. I think I got over 30 hours in that game, which is I was surprised at because I was like I thought I spent more time in Legends Arceus and I only clocked like 25 hours with that one. So spending 30 hours in Pocopia over the past like I don't know 3 weeks since it came out, it's like I'm glad I got to that point. Very interesting conclusion to like the main story. But there's still more to do, obviously, like with building the habitats, finding more Pokemon, like getting legendary. So I still have that going on in the background, but like it's not an immediate thing for me right now. Like I think I just really want to get to the story, get that over with, and then kind of relax a little bit, like daily check-ins with the Pokemon and everything like that. What I did do yesterday, because I got PlayStation Plus, I did a trial of Clear Obscure, the 2 hour trial, and my God, that I understand the hype now. And I think it just works out that like Charlie Cox plays Gustav, so TJ got the exclusive that Charlie Cox is going to be doing another video game. We still don't know what. I can't even imagine what he would do next, but just from the little bit I saw of him as Gustav, I'm like, wow, he's very good as a voice actor. So I'm very excited to see what he does next. But the gameplay is very interesting. Like I love Persona. I love Pokemon. So like the turn-based like RPG stuff is very fun. The graphics are insane. Like I'm like I only had the 2 hour trial, but I wanted to like just look around this setting because it's just so beautiful to look at. The creatures are so unique. It's like a steampunk fantasy kind of world. And I'm just like, it is crazy that I mean, I don't know the studio that well, but for this, I would say they're like a small time studio, but for them to create this very big world and win game of the year last year, it's like
33
kudos to
people.
them. That's wild. That's insane considering like what this looks like. Meanwhile, we have, not to shit on Pokemon, but like the Pokemon games don't look anywhere close to this game. And it's like you have your $1 billion franchise and anyways, but like I'm very excited to see what the studio does next. I'm glad that
before you start playing.
Oh yes.
One, don't rush to finish the main story whatsoever. Explore as much as you can, because if you don't complete like all the side stuff, there's going to be a lot at the end recap that you don't understand. Like all the side missions are very important to the story. And then the other one is make sure it's got some pretty hefty graphics. It looks really great. It works your PS5 when you're playing it. Make sure you got a nice clean PS5, because mine was like constantly overheating only with that game. I took it all apart, vacuumed it all out. It stopped. But it was like Expedition 33 was the only game that would make my PS5 overheat. And there was like a lot of animal hair and dust in it and stuff like that. So like it needed a clean. But Expedition 33 was how I learned that it needed a clean, because it kept overheating.
Damn, I've never cleaned my PS5. I don't even know how to open that thing up, but like I mean that's cool. Like
I didn't either. I this was my first time I'd ever done it. Jam's looking at us like we're absolutely nuts.
The gamer in me is like,
I did a quick YouTube. It's so easy.
I was about to say, bro, it's so easy. The gamer in me is like, my soul is like, I just felt attacked personally. I was like, they don't know. Like people don't know how to do this. Oh my goodness. Yes, please, everybody, disclaimer, friends at home and those that are listening at home, please clean your PS5s.
That reminded, like, your face there just reminded me of like my old producer at work found out somebody who was doing shows for 5+ years. The last time he restarted his computer was like 2 or 3 years ago. And he was just like freaking out at him. He's like, what do you mean? You can't do this. There are so many things that this computer will do faster if you just restart the damn thing.
Oh man. When you've worked in tech, oh my god. My PTSD is happening right now. Oh man, but speaking of, we got a show to talk about.
Yeah,
Let's
speaking of
get into,
computers,
you know, let's talk about our spoiler-free reactions when it comes to Paradise. Wow. I mean, when it happened, I text both the iMessage group chat that we still don't even have a name. I'm trying to come up with a name for this group chat of us. And then we have shout out to all of our agents in the Twitter chat. And I texted media. I'm like, I just watched Paradise, and wow, that's my spoiler free just wow, what a finale. Our friend Emma, shout out to our friend Emma in the chat, says she said, I'm so shook, can't wait for season 3. I'm with her. I man, Brian, how you feeling, man? How you've been waiting? How you feel?
man, it episodes like this remind me why I love television, why television is such a good medium, and this is like a big reminder of like why I love this show. It it makes you think this show is one thing, and then it throws in these different things that changes how you feel. It is a show that, like, this episode in particular will be a very big talking point as we get into season 3, because like there are so many unanswered questions, but in a good way. Like it is a good conversation starter. It's a good way to talk with the community, and like I'm seeing so many theories out there, and it's just like, I don't know, like this is what good television is. It's like to have these kind of theories and stuff like that. It's like it. I didn't live through the Lost era. Like I didn't watch it back then, but I feel like this is what Lost was. It's like, what's in the hatch? What's the island? It's like now we get some of those kind of things, and it's like I love it. I love being in it, and I'm just so impressed by the writing, the acting, like getting to see everyone come back together is like really really great. Like it reminds me why this cast works so well as an ensemble. Like we've had them all separated for so long, and to get them back together, working together, it's like, okay, yes, they're strong like this, and I'm very excited for season 3. I have no idea still where it's going, and I like that. I'm glad that like I'm, no matter what I try to guess, like I nothing could live up to what I imagine with season 3.
Yeah, I agree. You got some, TJ?
I was just, yeah, like I thought it was such a good episode, and like it's kind of the only thing, to your point, Ryan, of how this show is so fun to theorize with and talk with your friends about and really dive into. One, because it's emotional. Two, because it's really action packed. Three, because it's truly a puzzle box. You don't know what's going to happen week to week or where the story is going to go. The only thing that's really holding Paradise back from being like a water cooler show is not enough people fucking watch it. Like, we need more people to watch this show because it truly is one of the better TV shows of the last few years, and it is, like you said, such a strong cast, such a strong story. I was glued to the edge of my seat for this entire finale. I did think, from like an overarching storytelling point in terms of the emotions, the stakes, how it made me feel, pretty much a 10 out of 10. In terms of the storytelling, in terms of how they wrapped certain things up, and I'll say the lack of explanation as to how we got to certain points, that I think could have been better. But overall, just an incredible episode of TV.
See, I'm torn between the both of you because I kind of agree with both of your points. For me, I feel like I like what Ryan was saying. Like it leaves like things to be, discovered or explored in season 3. But I do feel like there was some things missing. Like to your point, TJ, I feel like there was. I don't want to say we weren't delivered or it wasn't like I didn't feel fulfilled, but it just feels like there was something that I could have gotten a little bit extra of. And maybe that's a me thing, like not diving too much into the context of things or really like. I mean, I've only watched the episode the one time, so I got to go back and see it again and see if I pick up on anything else. But I also don't know if I'm thinking too hard about it either. Like I feel like this is a show that I kind of like to just kick back and not saying I don't like to theorize, but kind of go it as it comes to me. Like, all right, well, here's what I got. Now I can talk with you guys. Like, where do we think it's going? You know what I'm saying? Like things like that. Like opposed to so much as far as the unansweredness of it all. I don't know. I guess it's just something like that. But spoiler free warning, or I guess spoiler warning for
like a couple other things before we dive into it. I do think they made like a pretty clear. I wasn't mad at the lack of explanation for certain things because they did do a pretty clear job of being like, this is what the season 3 story is going to be. So like, don't worry if you don't know yet, you're gonna find out more. But there were a few lines that felt a little somehow Palpatine return. Like for lack of a better term, I know you don't want.
I get what you mean.
Dump a bunch of science exposition into a finale because you don't want to bore people. Like this was a fast-paced, action-packed finale, but it did feel a little bit of like, okay, we want to keep this pushing, so we're not going to explain too in depth. But because of not doing that, there's a lot of just like spoiler warning for the show. We'll dive into it. This AI can tell the future, and not only tell the future, but impact the past. How? Don't worry about it. Like that just felt like a very heavy theme throughout the episode. But I do hope as we get into a season 3, and I will say, like, I've actually, like, when I first talked to Ryan about this and I saw his post, he was saying like, I need season 3 now. Like I can't wait for it. And that's basically the consensus I have heard from everybody I've seen who has seen this finale. I'm kind of the opposite. This is one of those rare finales for me where it's like, story-wise, yes, I need to know more, but emotionally, I'm satisfied. I'm a sucker for a happy ending. Xavier's family is finally reunited. I talked to some people who thought Sinatra's redemption arc felt a little too easy. Like she's just like, oh, so she's a good guy now. But I actually thought it was really good. I thought it was really strong. So I feel satisfied with that. So I kind of actually feel like I got, from an emotional standpoint, some good closure. And I'm not even in a rush for the next season because I don't want shit to go bad again. I just want to bask in this moment of the family being reunited. Link kind of didn't do anything he shouldn't have done and is still on the side of good. He's got his little baby. Like, I do feel like we're in a nice spot now that it's like, I'm in no rush for things to get terrible again.
I agree with everything you said. I do feel like when it first happened, I did feel like Sinatra's redemption might have been a little rushed, only because you made a great point throughout this whole series this journey that we've been on, is she kind of has been set up to be the good guy throughout the whole season. So that's in that way, to me, it did feel like it was rushed. Like she was kind of pushed into this savior role, pushed into this hero role. And so
it felt like this season to me felt very Tony Stark and like Iron Man and Cap-esque, where Sinatra is, burdened with knowledge, and she feels like she's the only one who can save the world. And sometimes, she's a little bit more on the line cross side than Tony Stark, at least that we've seen in the MCU. But there's a lot of there's a lot of comic iterations of Tony Stark where that man is far further into the gray, where it's no longer gray anymore than even on the hero side of it. And so it kind of felt like that was the Sinatra role to me of like, I am a protagonist for this season. You will not always agree with my actions, but I'm here trying to save the world for the greater good. Whereas Xavier is just straight up Captain America. Like that is Captain America, right? Like he is, Sinatra says it to him at the end of this episode, Xavier, I think you are the one truly good person in this godforsaken place, or whatever she said. And he is. Like, he is always doing the right thing. He is very passionate about certain opinions and really wants to do them, but he listens to the people in his life, whether it's Annie, whether it's Terry, when they say like, and even Sinatra, when they say like, I know you feel this way. I get you feel this way, but we got to do this. And he's like, damn it, you're right. Okay, let's do it. Like, he's just always on the side of good and really does feel like he fits that Captain America role. And so it's kind of fun seeing the two of them together in this episode when they've been so separate, because they have those two different arcs. But at the end of the day, do you trust me? I do. Cap and Tony are always gonna, when the world is on the line, they're gonna do what they got to do and work together. And that's kind of what I felt like in this finale.
Yeah, I felt like it's interesting to see her. It's kind of like a Captain America arc with Xavier, right? Like you said, because she goes from being the antagonist in season 1, like how Tony is in Civil War, and then next next Cap movie is, or excuse me, the next time we see the Avengers, they basically need each other. You know what I mean? And they have to put each and because Thanos came, and so it's pretty interesting that I like that analogy.
Which is funny enough that, like, in that group chat you were talking about, we were having the conversation today. If it wasn't for Civil War, just randomly, nothing to do with this, if it wasn't for the Civil War, the Avengers probably kicked Thanos' ass. And it's kind of funny how we draw that comparison now after having that conversation earlier today. Maybe that's why it's fresh in our mind.
Yeah, it's always a nice like Easter egg or insider when we can bring the insider full circle. Ryan, how do you feel? What do you feel like about Sinatra and Xavier as like full circle moment, and how she was kind of the savior in all of this at the end of the day?
I will say, like, I personally feel like they have been building up to this like since episode 2 of season 1, where we get her full flashback. Like, it's like established from the get go. This is someone who through the loss of her child, she was like, I am never gonna let like something like that happen. I'm not gonna let something tragic like that happen again, and I will protect everyone because I have the means to. And it's like, I mean, kind of rare for someone that rich and powerful to want to do that for the greater good. And like, so seeing her arc this season, like, I know we didn't get much of it, but I think, like, you know, even that moment with the first child born in the bunker, where she's like, yeah, there's gonna be one day where you are going to see the sun again. And we get that moment. Well, like, we don't see that child, but we get that moment at the end of this episode where like everyone gets to experience the outside again. Her husband feels the sun and he's like looking for his wife and child. It's like, yes, this is what she wanted. Like, she knew that the bunker was just a temporary thing, and she had these plans in place to I don't know, to save the world again. And like, I think she's very clever with what she's doing. Like, you know, where Alex is and all that, like, is shook me, because I'm like, I didn't think of the possibility that there could be multiple bunkers, which is smart because, like,
At all.
yeah,
Didn't
like, I'm
think about
like,
that at all.
it costs who knows how much money to create the first bunker. So I'm like, I can't imagine that they would have a second one, but they do. And it's so interesting that, like, yes, you were comparing to Tony Stark, but she's also like a very well prepared Batman in that sense, where like Batman has bat caves all over Gotham City in case something goes wrong. It's like, I don't know if she needed this to, like, if this
Contingency
bunker,
plans everywhere.
yeah, exactly.
Contingency plans.
Like, who knows if this bunker is something livable as well. And it's like, is it like that? Is it just to store Alex? Like, what is that? And so that's why I'm like, you know, Sinatra is very smart with what she's doing. I'm not surprised that she died in this episode. I think, like, considering her arc and considering what we were building up to in this season finale, I'm like, I don't know how you keep her around, like, in season 3, like, with what we're doing here, like, with us trying to actually now save the world, like, from the outside. I think she was more of a planner, and it's like, okay, I've laid out the groundwork for you guys. Now you guys have to put it into action. I don't think she's like an action oriented person. Like, she gets it done, but like, she has people do the things for her. So I think Xavier, Dylan, like, those are the people like that needed to be propped up for her plan to come into motion. So yeah, no, I think
It's like the Justice League. Batman makes the plan and everybody, executes essentially.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I thought like it was good. I'm sure she's not gonna like the actress will still be around for season 3. Like there's definitely more
Flashback.
flashback. Yeah. Like if
I
we can
mean,
get Cal
maybe
back,
not this flashback. Who knows if she's dead? Like we still don't. We'll
right?
we'll get into it, but we still don't really know what's getting on with the time travel in the show. Like that's what
I
we were
was
alluding to that was not explained. The thing I was
Mhm.
talking to Ryan is like I kind of to wrap my brain around everything. I kind of need to know like the golden rule. Is this Harry Potter time travel or is this Endgame time travel? Is I need the Bruce speech where it's like your past can't change, your future can't change your past can't, whatever it is. And or is it Harry Potter where it's like they it happened because they were there. It's a loop that is being created.
It almost
They
feels like that, though. It almost feels like
there's
what we
elements
got
of
in the
both.
context. But so that's what I was gonna say. It feels like the context that we were given with today's episode, where her assistant is basically like it's not able to create the anomalies yet, and she's like, but I'm pretty sure it already has, and she's referring to Dylan Link. It almost feels like it blends both elements together to where time is just what it is in that sense, a concept. If it can send back in that moment, if it can send back in that moment a message to create Jane, right? Because that's kind of like what I'm thinking about back to the rest of the season. Like it can create moments to create Jane
Mhm.
or create Dylan, and then at the end of it, she says, "This is what you need to do," and he's like, "How do you know I'll do it?" And she's like, because I think you already have. So I
Yeah.
feel like to your point, there is elements of both, but that's the concept of time. We don't
Yeah.
really know. You know
And
what I
that
mean?
is the
So
core, like that speech at the end that does feel very loop, like what we do is going to affect the past kind of thing. Maybe we won't be here because this is already like whatever, what have you. But the part that I'm gonna need more explanation on is essentially what it's kind of alluding to right now, if it's a loop. If it's not anything multiversal or cross-dimensional, whatever, what have you, it's like maybe it's a relativity situation. I don't know. But I'm gonna need more than just the AI created an anomaly. Dylan was one of them. So the AI created the person who created the AI. It's a big chicken or the egg situation that I'm gonna
Yes,
need a little
yeah.
bit more context to.
that's gonna be with the episode. That's what's gonna be the season finale of season 3. It's gonna be
Yeah.
called "The Chicken and the Egg." That's the title of the
And
episode.
like to me, one of the things I got from like every time it seems like every time Xavier and Link are together, shit hits the fan, and that's when their nosebleeds are happening. Dimensions are crossing, whatever it is. But I do think that like memory, that vision we keep seeing of like the two of them walking down the hallway, I do think that's going to be the two of them walking towards the new, or either towards Alex for the first time or running away from Alex within that in season
Mm.
3.
See, I almost thought I think that too, and I thought for a moment that it was actually the moment where they were at currently, like it was
Yeah,
them leaving the bunker together. Um,
but
you
I
brought
think
up
it's
a
going to
good
be the
point.
next one.
I agree. I agree. Ryan brought up a good point earlier, talking about, and I think you touched on it as well, TJ, about Sinatra dying. And one thing I wanted to mention that I really appreciated was the visual of her death, of how she died. Like it didn't show some giant crazy explosion in the bunker or anything like that. That was all on the outside from what the people were seeing. But what it did show was her son coming, grabbing her hand, and, like, walking off with her after she watched her son the pony, one of those, I don't know what those are called outside of, like, grocery stores and things like that, but, the little rides that you can put quarters in or whatever, like, that was something her son was obsessed with, and so I thought that was a really nice touch that that's what she saw as, like, her last thing, and then her son came to grab her. I thought that was, like, a really nice visual, like, of how they portrayed her death. I wanted to highlight that. Um
I thought it was super interesting too how they basically start the episode by telling us she's going to die. Like
Yeah.
where you've gone out of your way to establish the predictive accuracy of Alex, we kind of know that it is in fact going to happen. They're telling us it right at the start, and I thought it really recontextualized the episode in such an interesting way because it made me fear for whoever was with her. Like
Mm.
I was thinking like they couldn't kill Xavier, right? Like they would never kill Xavier, But I was genuinely fearful for it because they were on that mission together and we knew she was going to die. And so I was so afraid for his well-being the whole time.
I was afraid for his well-being. I was afraid for his daughter. I was
Yeah.
afraid for her daughter. Shoot, man, I was afraid for Dylan for that moment when he had them both pinned up in the hallway. I was a little worried. I was like, oh, they're all just gonna die right here. So I want to touch on this now with everything. It almost feels like Dylan accepted that that was his mom at the end. It's like he knew, right? I don't know. How did you guys feel about that? Ryan, I ask you first.
Yeah, no, it like he spends a good chunk of the episode like kind of denying that theory, but like I forgot what the exact moment is where he kind of like, you know what, I think this, because he knows what Alex is, and he knows that it can predict these things or change things to for them to happen. It's like I think he's like the audience in a sense where it's like, but I created it, so there's no way I can be her son. But then this thing is like making me think that, and I don't know, like that. This is what makes me think like, is Alex good or not? Because like because Sinatra put out that theory, is Alex saying like, oh, let's go with that theory because then Sinatra's goal is to keep Alex alive, but Link's goal was to destroy Alex. So it's like, if I make Link Dylan
Was he going to
believe,
destroy it or just take it?
he said,
No, I thought he
we
was
need to
gonna.
kill Alex. He said,
Oh, I
we
missed
need
that.
to.
I missed that.
Yeah, like I
Oh
mean, that's
yeah,
what
well
Geiger
that and that was
says.
and that's the whole that was the whole thing with the guy that is Geiger the guy that she
Yeah,
stole
or the
that
old guy.
tried to steal that he tried to steal basically Alex from Link
Oh, that's
from
Henry. That's Henry in the
that's Henry.
past. Yeah.
So what I was gonna say that's the guy that Sinatra stole it from, right?
Yes.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
had killed. So what I was gonna say, wanted to add on to your point though, Ryan. I that's the chicken and the egg thing that TJ was talking about though. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
because Alex essentially was the one that I mean, what's his name? Dylan Link was the one that created Alex. I thought that was fascinating too. Like to me, it almost feels like the AI Alex looks at like us, like humans, like even Sinatra as like it's like God and ants, like right, like
Hmm.
because that's what it feels like. To your point, it's like it's just doing things. And the
Yeah.
reason I say that is because the main thing that you said his name is Henry told Sinatra when they were trying to get rid of it was, I don't think you understand. It just solved a question
Time
that would
travel,
have
essentially, I
taken
think was what he was alluding
it
to.
it just solved the question that would have taken humanity to the ends of the universe to answer.
Yeah. And they didn't even ask the question yet. And it's
And we
like,
didn't even ask the question. She's like, "Okay, it took it 8 seconds." She's like, "Well, what's the problem?" And we haven't asked the question yet.
yeah,
But
crazy.
I don't know if it was time travel though, because I do feel like that, yes, but we've asked that question before. You see what I'm saying? So
I don't think it had like they had asked it that, you know what I mean? Like they hadn't put in a prompt or anything. It
it's
was
just
like, hey, here's how we can change the future by affecting the past. Like that's why that is kind of why I think not that it necessarily is that. That was just my understanding, my theory when I heard that. But I think the reason why this has to have some kind of like cross-dimensional or multiversal element is because the only way I can sort of wrap my head around it is a version of Alex had to be created by someone not named Link, by someone other than Dylan. Maybe it was this original guy, like the teacher that he was working with, his mentor. Maybe it was him. And then the first time Alex started figuring shit out, it was like, I got to affect the past. I need somebody smarter to put me together. Let me make sure Dylan's alive. And so it finds a way to make sure Dylan doesn't die, and therefore it keeps repairing itself, keeps getting better, keeps getting stronger until it
so
gets
you
to the
think
point that it is.
somebody else created Alex before Dylan?
And then Dylan perfected it in basically like in this reality, it was Dylan who created it, kind of thing. In the sense that like every change you make creates a new branch reality. It just kept branching until Alex was strong enough to change the past so that Dylan didn't die.
I put my hand up in class because this is where I talk about this with Dennis all the time. Shout out to my friend Dennis over at the Alternate Timeline, friend of the pod. This is where I it how do I say this? It frustrates the inner parts of my soul what the MCU has done to the way we view time travel and alternate realities, because it's not the way that we think. Like, right, like, think about Interstellar, for example. I think Interstellar is the best depiction that we have of what it could really be, but fictionally, what do we think of as like the main tale of time travel is Back to the Future, right? We don't want to impact something in the past to impact something else. All of that is totally separate. Again, relativity and all that from Interstellar, but all of that fictionally has always been separate in thing like comic book wise in things for like the multiverse. I think of, like, for example, Invincible, how Invincible separates the multiverse from time travel. So when talking about Paradise, having it be both is an option, like, again, like Interstellar, when you have time space relativity, but it's so hard for my brain to wrap around because I feel like that's what just we do now, because the MCU is this big popular
No,
thing.
that did predate the MCU by a long way. There's always been two basic schools of time travel thought of like it's got to be one this way or this way kind of thing. Multiversal versions of time travel, that's kind of always been a storytelling trope because I think that is the closest to human science can get to understanding how it.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. Like, right, like again, relativity and things like that. I think, but I'm saying, I think when you think of most, like of modern fiction, right? That's why I say Back to the Future. I feel like that's usually, and they even mentioned that in Endgame. Like, what is the staple of time travel, right? It's always you go back into the past, you can't impact anything, and then you come back, and because it'll be changed. The butterfly effect, right? I think introducing that concept in Paradise is like a big brain, like, and I think you're on. That's what I'm saying. I think you're on to something, because that's just kind of Interstellar at that point, right? That's just basically the AI creating like Interstellar's like real scientific time travel.
So the concept of the multiverse in time travel first was explored in 1884 in the book Flatlands, A Romance of Many Dimensions, and then popularized in 1934 with Sidewise in Time.
Interesting.
That's like I kind of like they're kind of always have thought there are two distinct ways to look at it, and the MCU just essentially picked one of them.
Well, DC Comics also started it with like in the what is it, in the 60s or 70s with the Flash, and he split it off into two, and it becomes like two. It's him time traveling, but it becomes Earth 1 and Earth 2, and then you've got like Jay Garrick and Barry. You know what I mean? So like,
yeah, so actually
it's always been a. I'm not saying it hasn't always been a thing. I'm saying that I think it's interesting now that more like mediums or more television movies are playing with that concept, because you usually see stuff like Back to the Future, the butterfly effect, Invincible, how it's played with, you go from point A to point B and you go back to point A and things might be point A 1A, you know what I mean? Like, whereas introducing this in Paradise with the, like, to you guys' point earlier, the chicken and the egg concept is fascinating. That's why I like the way this season finale didn't give us much. It gave us enough kind of like an MCU movie where it's like you can theorize of what's gonna happen next because of that Easter egg post credits scene. You know what I'm saying? Like, it feels like that almost, because now we're over here talking about the concept of time, right? Like, we're over here talking about how the concept of time can relate, whether it's fictionally or like real life, into this series. So I'm very fascinated by this. Like, it's interesting. I want to know. I got TJ, your thoughts. Ryan, what do you think? What do you think? It's a end game situation, or more of a Interstellar situation, or do you feel like it's just the natural point A point B thing?
It is tough because like they throw almost all of those in here to make us think one way or the other, where it's like in the with what Sinatra saying, like with to Xavier, like, yeah, I think you already fix the world. You just need to do it again, essentially. That's like the loop. But then we have someone like Dylan and the paradox of Dylan and the AI. It's like, again, that's could be multi-dimensional and everything.
Because
And
even
then you,
I think you've already done it thing could still be in the realm of a multiverse where it's like, I think there's a version of you that has already done it. That's why our universe exists. Like that kind of thing. Like it actually could work that way too, now that I think about it.
yes, I see.
I didn't even think about it that way.
Yeah, because like, I mean, we also have these visions, right? And it's like, if we take the concept of dream walking, I mean, these aren't dreams, but like they're visions to them. It's like this is them in an alternate universe doing that. So it's like they probably have done it in an alternate universe, and it's like this, they're getting glimpses to know exactly what they need to do or what not to do, even. Like who knows if it's like a almost a That's So Raven situation where it's like she sees a glimpse of her future, but whether
It's
she's
different than what it is.
yeah, like there's a full context that they're missing, and it's like what they could be doing could be actually destroying the world, or it could be helping the world, but they're trying to stop it. It's like who knows exactly what that is. So that's why it's so interesting. I want to go back to like episode 1. Like if you go back and watch episode 1, where I because I wanted to go back and see like if they left clues way back then of like that kind of idea. And like when you see Xavier go up the stairs to find Cal, there's this shot of like almost like Interstellar, where it's like kind of glass of like 4 different versions of Xavier going up the stairs. And it's like, is this like, did Cal need to die essentially to kind of set off this motion of like saving the world or anything like that?
Which makes it fascinating, the idea that it was just some random dude. Because what if it's not a random dude? What if that was somebody specifically placed to kill Cal because it was the only way the world could be saved?
By Alex?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
what if this was not just some character that was random we didn't know about? Like what if that was actually just like that didn't happen in the world ended, so Alex made sure that it happened.
Well, what I found really interesting, some just minor detail stuff, is that originally I thought it was just gonna be Sinatra and her son, and Dylan nose bleeding because he had the illness, and I'm thinking, okay, well maybe Sinatra is the one, like things like that, whatever the case may be. But Xavier has the nosebleeds too, right? Like that was something we seen in episode 2 with when he met Annie. So it wasn't just Dylan being sick. It wasn't just Sinatra getting shot, feeling weak, whatever the case may be. Like after all that, it was legit. Like something's there, and it can't just be an AI. Like
time,
right, like
throwing their equilibrium off.
It can't just be an AI, right? Like it has to be. And so what I'm feeling like is it maybe people, right? Like is it certain people that, to your guys, to add, this is me now adding on to y'all's theory, right? Is it certain people that have to be either met, dead, or alive? 3 of those things, kind of like wizards with what is it from
wizards,
MCU?
androids, and aliens.
Wizards, androids, and yeah, whatever. But does it have to be like they either have to be met, like for example, both Link and Xavier met Annie? Does it have to be that they're either alive, like again, Link is alive even though or Dylan, whatever, even though he wasn't supposed to be? Or what was the third thing I was trying to get to? I forgot. It has to be like one of those things. Like they have to be like alive and they met the person, right? I'm wondering if it's like kind of like if it's a situation like it's an anchor being, right? Like do they have to be created like Jane, right? Like what is the situation that these, again, or killed off? That's what it was. Like Cal, to adding on to y'all theory, maybe Cal had to be killed off to then this person to meet this person, for like Xavier to go on this journey to meet Annie, who already met Dylan, who was just so happens to be Sinatra. You know what I mean? Because like we didn't really even talk about this, but once last time. But now Link is reunited with his daughter, but that's Sinatra's grandchild. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's also a cool idea to realize, like when he reached into the elevator to save Sinatra's daughter, that's his sister. That's his sister whose life he just saved, which I thought was really, really cool.
Oh, right.
And I'm just actually realizing, we've talked so much about, we've weaved this into Marvel a lot this episode, but honestly, it's kind of how I help contextualize it. I thought about okay, how could it be multiversal with the Xavier thing? Well, I thought about Ms. Marvel, where technically they do the loop thing in Miss Marvel, but you can contextualize it that the way that works is it's not a loop. It's every time Kamala goes back and gets that bangle from the past, from another universe, that is just creating another. It wasn't her who did it for herself. It was a different Kamala Khan, a different Ms. Marvel that did it for her, and et cetera, and that just keeps happening. But the thing that made me realize kind of what Alex is to me, it's Doctor Strange with the time stone. It's looking at all the possible futures. Oh shit, we only win in one. There's only one of these possible futures that the Earth, humanity, we don't know what Alex's end goal is. Maybe she eventually decides that killing humans is the only way to preserve the Earth, because
it's Ultron. I'm telling you, it's Ultron.
We don't know if she's Ultron or Strange yet, but that's kind of how I'm looking at it. It's like, this is the only one we win. So I have to go and place seeds to create a branch timeline, create a timeline where we win, because all of these individual things have to happen to get to that point.
Yeah, I think that kind of ties into the Tarabi of it all, because she said that I handpicked these specific people to be in the bunker at this certain point. And it's like, what is even the criteria of that? Like, you have people who are waitresses, you have people who are barbers.
Right,
it's like,
right.
Do you really need a world-class barber to be in this bunker? Like, no. But there's a reason that you pick them, and it's like, was Tarabi influenced by this AI thing unknowingly?
Was she a part of it?
Yeah,
she wasn't though, because she didn't know who Alex was. Like, I also found it very interesting that Tarabi. I will say, I found it very interesting that Tarabi was kind of just okay with. I don't want to say forgiving Sinatra, but just after you kill Jane, everything's all good. You know what I mean?
I think she knew in that moment that she was going to be sacrificing herself.
Yeah.
And so it didn't matter. That was just like, this person has meant a lot to me, even though we've been at odds recently. If you're going to give our life you're going to give your life to keep us alive, goodbye, with a respecting nod and a little smile kind of thing.
Yeah. And if anything, I feel like Jane, with what we've seen in the last couple episodes, she would have done a lot to make sure Sinatra didn't die in that moment. And I think Sinatra knew that she had to, for this outcome to happen. I think Jane being out of the picture actually helped her situation a little bit more, and I think that's why she's like, you know what? Thank you. I didn't know how to get rid of her, essentially, so having her gone for the meantime worked out in her favor.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I probably would have tried to stop her from going to kill her, save her kid, right there. Like, no, I can't let you put yourself in danger. Oh my god, I could only imagine. I'm so glad that. I don't know if I got any other thoughts about this episode. I want to pass it to you guys, Ryan. Right back to you. Do you have any final thoughts about this series, or excuse me, this season finale? I feel like all I can say is I'm excited for season 3, as Emma said earlier. I don't have many theories other than I love this loophole thing now that TJ has me thinking about, because I'm thinking about I need to go rewatch the whole show to see where certain things fit, right? But I don't really got anything else. Ryan, how about you, brother?
No, I'm right there with you. Where I feel like rewatching season 1 and 2, knowing what we know, will really change how we see the show. And season 1 was a murder mystery political thriller, a little dystopian. Season 2, much more dystopian, more sci-fi. Season 3, it's okay, how do we change the show again? And it's pure sci-fi at this point. It's there's not gonna be any politics because they're just out on the run now. And I'm very curious to see who is even up for this mission and how they kind of get to it. I'm very interested to see what do you even do to stop Alex? Is Alex the villain of next season? Because now we really don't have a villain. Seemingly Jane is dead, but her body's gone. Sinatra's gone. Tarabi's okay. We didn't even talk about it. Tarabi and Terry meeting for the first time, and Xavier gives her that look don't tell her we fucked. She knows nothing. I have my wife back. She's not gonna know anything about that. I'm and for Xavier to be you guys talk. I'm I would never leave those two women alone.
Man is insane, bro. That man has, but you know what? I feel like we kind of see throughout like the series, just both how I feel like Terry would be understanding, low key.
I do too. Just from like, even though nothing happened between her and the other guy, her and Gary, we don't know like how much that is because he was Gary and how much it was just because she would never have done it, whether it was anyone. But it's just one of those things where it's like neither of them knew if they would see the other one again.
Yeah.
There's like, she very specifically said with Gary, she was like, "We were a family. It was great. It's over now. It's over now because I got a chance to get my family back." Like when they were in a period of like this, social norms don't really matter anymore because we got to do what we got to do to stay alive. And sometimes that is a little dopamine boost. You know what I mean?
I'm screaming. Brother said dopamine boost. Oh my goodness. I also just feel like it shows like because we've seen throughout this whole season that's like her humanity, right? On the flip side, though, brother Xavier over there walking in, and when he found his wife, he said, "I never lost hope." Man, you can't say things like "I never lost hope," but then turn around and say, "Hey, but while I wasn't losing hope, I was over there, having a quick dopamine fix." I don't know how that's gonna turn around. Um, TJ, any final thoughts on this season so far, or excuse me, this not so far, but this season, and any thoughts for the season 3 to come?
No, I will say that, I think I would be understanding of my partner if roles were reversed. I feel like I would get it in that situation. Like I would never ever want it to be cheated on, but I don't think that's cheating. I think that's like a loophole. Speaking of loopholes, if the world ends, there's the rules change. But
Ooh. Before you give your final thought, I gotta interrupt. Because I have a question now on top of that. Actually, I don't know if we're allowed to say these questions as we all have people in our lives, significant others. But now I want to have who's your one free card? Ooh, I want to throw that out there. Y'all got to think about that. Oh, who's the one free card?
I don't have one because I feel like there wouldn't be like, it would just like, maybe this is probably a conversation we should have off air, but it wouldn't be like this wouldn't be like hey Ava, can I go do this for the free pass? It would be like, how can we invite this person into our home?
Okay. Well, also to be fair, you know what?
Group
I feel like
activities only.
it's hard to even think like that because when you're in like a like apocalyptic dystopian thing, I'm screaming at Emma.
Emma did not hesitate.
At all, at all. But the reason I just thought about how probably wrongly worded my question is because
Ryan, don't think you're gonna get away with not answering.
no, he doesn't have to answer because I just thought about it. Like it's hard to when you're in a dystopian survival thing, right? Because it's really the options that are there that are. It's not like I could just be like, oh, this celebrity, you know what I mean? Like, so bad question, bad faith question. TJ, last final thoughts. I'm sorry.
Just we touched on it a little bit, but I thought the emotional moments really stuck the landing in this episode. Whether it would be Xavier with Link and his baby, I understand naming it Annie. I was kind of hoping it was gonna be Hope, but keep Annie's memory alive.
Or
Grace. Keep Annie's memory alive. So I get it. I'm totally okay with that. I was so happy for the whole family, Xavier's family, to be reunited. Although the Jeremy and Robinson stuff throughout the season I thought kind of sucked, it was good in this episode. I thought it worked really well. I was not expecting him to come back for her, and I thought that was really, really great. Like I thought it was like she's doing the right thing, making him leave. Like that is like I'm not getting out of here. You got to go. One of us should live. There's no point in both of us dying. I thought that was very noble. And then the fact that he ended up coming back with help, I just thought that was incredible because like, be the man who your dad thought you were. That started immediately. That resonated, and that started immediately. That wasn't something he was going to push off. So I thought the person that Jeremy was to conclude this episode is kind of the person we thought he was going to be. It just took him a little longer to get there.
Yeah, man. Ooh, I love that. I also want to shout out our guy Geiger. He passed away in this episode. Was sad to see, and it really seemed like that person meant a lot to that whole group because we get that shot at the end of them like all toasting to his name and just showing love. So I thought that was really important to mention
Like
as well.
Link was the leader, but that guy was the father figure.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like he took care of everybody, like at the end of the day. All right, man. Well, we're gonna get out of here. Ryan, let all the good people know where to find you and all your work that you do.
Yeah, you can find me at Ryan_reflects on Twitter, Threads, Letterboxd. You can find my work outside of Agents of Fandom on Collider. I think it's my latest article. I talked about how Stephen King, legendary author himself, loves
Mm.
Paradise, especially season 2. So, if he gives his glowing seal of approval, I think everyone should be watching this. So, I love the free endorsement for the show. But yeah, no, this I just gotta say this has been a great journey. I know, like last year when I was pushing Paradise to everyone I could, TJ threw out the idea of like doing a podcast, and like this was such a fun ride. I think this season in particular was a lot to like talk about, so I'm very excited for next year because it's already filming season 3 for us to get back here next year and dissect the final season.
Absolutely, Ryan. I was so glad to finally have another pod that we could talk. I don't even know if we actually had a pod, maybe like one or two. We had like a trailer or something, but I was
Yeah,
so glad to
Sinners.
have like a full. Right, that's what it was. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
Sinners. I
so
mean, that was
glad
like a
to like.
2-hour conversation. That was a good one to
I,
talk about.
I'm so glad though, like that we had like something to kind of like dive into week by week again. When I get back on my pod and on my channel, you guys can check me out over the Journey Across Media over on here on YouTube. But when I get back to podding, gotta have you on for sure. Besides my pod though, Journey Across Media, you can check me out all of my writing here at Agents of Fandom, as well as all of my content. I'm doing like literally a reel, TikTok, YouTube short a day at this point. That's also at this point kind of through Agents of Fandom. Like I actually haven't started. I gotta do. I don't know how to link it to through TikTok. I don't know if you could even do that, but for the most part, all of my reels and shorts are also here for you guys to check out as well. But I am also on socials at Jam Session. Just replace the E with an X, and that's about it. TJ, let the good people know once again what we have all coming up and where can they find all of our good things.
Yeah, Jam's been absolutely crushing it, and a few articles for a few anime reviews in the chamber as well that'll be dropping over the next few days, next few weeks. So stay tuned for that. We're not going anywhere on Mondays. Next Monday, we'll be talking about the first 2 episodes of Mall Shadow Lord. So instead of Paradise Mondays, it'll be Mall Shadow Lord Mondays, followed by Daredevil Tuesdays, Invincible Wednesdays, Comic Corner Thursdays, anything else that pops up coming in on a Friday, like trailers and movies, things like that. And so make sure you subscribe to the Agents Fandom on YouTube, wherever you get your pods. Follow us on socials at Agents Fandom on TikTok, Twitter and TikTok, Agents of Fandom everywhere else. And fun article pitch idea. I don't know if one of you wants to write this for Agents of Fandom, if you actually do the rewatch, or maybe Ryan, this is something you want to pitch to Collider. But 10 times Alex intervened throughout Paradise. And basically just like rewatch and try and pinpoint like something fishy happened here, something fishy happened here, something fishy happened here, and trying to like theorize, obviously it wouldn't be official, but theorize these are the moments in time throughout the show we've seen that Alex has changed something.
That's good, Ryan. You should. Yeah, I feel like that's a Ryan thing. That's good, bro. That's good.
Yeah, no, I'll think about it. Like,
I'm not gonna
I
make you lock that down anywhere because it sounds like a lot of work, but it would be cool.
Yeah, no, definitely something to think about. Like, I mean, I'm gonna rewatch the show either way, so like, I'll keep notes of that. So yeah, nice. Thanks for the pitch.
Got you.
All right, man. Well, you guys can see what we got going on the rest of this week. Am I Shaw Modelar? Am I doing that with you? Am I there for that?
We
I don't know.
haven't
We'll
locked
find that
in
off.
time yet, but I did have a wonderful recurring guest, friend of the show, Arzu Amin. She's going to be joining us for week 1, episodes 1 and 2, and that will be 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I was going to be asking you about that one.
Okay, got you. I gotta get Arzu's book. I see it's like doing really really well. Like, so I gotta check that out. But all right, y'all, that is pretty much it for our Paradise breakdown. Until I guess next year. Is it officially coming next year? We don't have a release date, right?
No,
Just
but I mean,
it's
they
finished.
pumped out. Yeah, they pumped out season 1 and 2 like a year after one another. So I think if they're already gonna film it like in a couple of weeks, I think they're on track.
In TJ's famous words, ladies and gentlemen and non-binary friends of them, real television is back. And on that note, we are out. Love from Agents of Fandom.